So in the previous class, we have discussed about the mechanical extraction methods by using different type of equipments, shovel, dumper, dragline, bucket wheel excavators, surface miners, all sort of heavy earth moving machineries are used for the extraction of minerals from the Earth's surface. So the surface mining methods are of two types. One is mechanical extraction method. The second one is aqueous extraction methods. So in the previous class, we have discussed about the mechanical extraction methods like strip mining, open pit mining, by using different type of equipments, by using different type of mining machineries, by using heavy earth moving machineries. So today let us discuss about the aqueous extraction methods. Aqueous, the meaning of aqueous is water. By using the water force, by using the water force, you are going to extract the minerals, which is called your aqueous extraction method. So the aqueous extraction method depend on water, or instead of water, you can use also another liquid. Uh, it is called aqueous because it may be water or it may be another liquid. That is why it is called aqueous extraction method. So you can use the water or another liquid. What other liquid you can use? Like your dilute sulfuric acid, weak cyanide solution, or ammonium carbonate can be used as a liquid for the extraction of the minerals. So in the aqueous extraction method, either you can use the water for the extraction of the minerals, or you can use another liquid like your dilute sulfuric acid, weak cyanide solution, or ammonium carbonate to extract the minerals. So first, uh, let us classify them. The classification of aqueous extraction methods are of three types: placer mining, in situ leaching, or solution mining, undersea mining. Three methods of aqueous extraction methods are there. One is placer mining, the other one is in situ leaching or solution mining, third one is undersea mining. So what is placer mining? Placer mining is again divided into two groups. One is called hydraulic mining. Hydraulic means, you know, the hydraulic means water. By using the water force, by using the water force, uh, water at a great pressure, if you direct the water through the help of a nozzle at high pressure, the rock will be broken in the case of hydraulic mining, which is also called your hydraulicking. There is another method is there which is called your dredge mining, dredging, dredge mining or dredging. So in the case of a dredge mining, a sheep-like structure will float in the water and extract the minerals by the help of a dredge machine. So that is called your dredge mining, dredging. And what is in situ leaching, or what is solution mining? So in the case of a solution mining or in situ leaching mining, you have to use another liquid, which is called your dilute sulfuric acid, weak cyanide solution, or ammonium carbonate. These are the liquids you have to use to separate the minerals from the earth's crust, which is called your solution mining or in situ leaching. Then third method is called your undersea mining. Undersea means in the sea itself. So deep sea mining. Undersea mining is the sea mining method. In the uh, in the sea source, in the deep sea source. In the deep sea also minerals are there which are extracted, by undersea mining methods. So the placer mining methods, in situ mining methods, or solution mining, in situ leaching or solution mining method, undersea mining methods. Three methods are used in the case of aqueous extraction by using the water force or by using another liquid like a dilute sulfuric acid, weak cyanide solution, or ammonium carbonate. So these methods are called aqueous extraction method. So what is placer mining? Placer deposit. Placer deposits are mined by placer mining method. So what is a placer deposit? Placer deposit means a deposit which is placed on its way while they are carried by water. Means suppose, for example, your manganese nodules, manganese or other type of minerals which are found in Himalayan region. From the Himalaya region, the rivers are flowing like Ganges river or any other river which are flowing. So the the manganese nodules and other type of minerals, they are carried away by the water force and they travel through the water course in the rivers, and on the way they may be deposited somewhere, either on the banks of the river or in the river bed itself. And some of the minerals also, they are carried out by water through the river, and the river is ultimately going to the sea. The river is ultimately going to the sea. These type of deposits are near the sea, offshore or onshore sea deposits are there, which are nothing but your uh, placer deposits which are carried by water from long distance from Himalayan region to the sea floor. Okay, so these type of minerals are called your placer minerals. These type of deposits are called your placer deposits, which are covered by sand, which are covered by water. So here you are not going to use the heavy earth moving machineries. There is no drilling, no blasting carried out in these methods. That's why you can use the water force, you can use the dredge machine for extraction of these methods, for extraction of these deposits. And there are certain type of minerals which react with certain type of liquids. There are certain type of minerals which react and get separated uh, when they come in contact with certain type of liquid. For example, dilute sulfuric acid or cyanide solution. So for example, gold mining. So uh, uh, the in situ leaching can be carried out, or solution mining can be carried out to separate certain type of minerals which react with certain type of liquids, which is called your solution mining or in situ leaching method. And there are certain type of minerals which are carried out by the sea, and they reach to the deep sea. So there are certain type of minerals which are found in the middle of the sea, deep sea. So those type of minerals can be mined by a method which is called your undersea mining methods. Undersea mining methods. So which is called your deep sea mining. Which is called your deep sea mining. So in the case of a deep sea mining, means a ship will float in the sea water, and there will be a machine which will go down the deep sea and extract the minerals by the help of suction type of dredges or suction machines. Uh, those machines will be used for extraction of minerals which are lying under the sea, in the deep sea. So these three varieties of mining methods are called your aqueous extraction method. So placer mining and solution mining, placer mining and solution mining are among the most economical of all mining methods. They are very, very economical, but can only be applied to limited categories of mineral deposits. Not all type of mineral deposits can be extracted by placer mining methods and solution mining methods. Only a few variety of minerals which can be extracted by placer mining methods and solution mining methods. Okay, so the third variety is undersea mining, deep sea mining, which will be also discussed in this class. Okay, so let us see how these minerals are mined. How these minerals are mined. Okay, so the placer mining. So what is placer mining? Placer mining, placer deposits are nothing but concentrations of heavy minerals, usually within loose alluvium that can easily be excavated and washed. As I have told, in placer mining, there is no need of drilling and blasting because the minerals are covered by loose alluvium materials. Placer minerals such as gold, tin, and tungsten minerals. Gold, tin, and tungsten minerals, these are called your heavy minerals because their specific gravity is high. So these minerals are heavy minerals, are of relatively high value, but the value of the placer gravel itself may be very low, often less than $1 per cubic yard. Okay, so for deposits of such low grade to be worked, they must be near the water surface, near the water, on or near the surface of the ground, and should be only loosely consolidated so that drilling and blasting are not necessary in mining the placer deposits. Placer mining affects large surface areas for the volume of mineral mined is highly visible and has serious environmental problems with surface disturbance and stream pollution. So in the case of placer mining, environmental degradation, environmental problems occur because of large surface disturbance, and the water stream is getting polluted because of the gang particles are thrown to the water. So there are some environmental problems associated with placer mining. So placer mining is used to exploit loosely consolidated deposits like common sand and gravel, common sand and gravel or gravels containing gold, tin, diamonds, platinum, titanium, or gems. So these are heavy minerals which are found below the common sand and gravel or gravels containing gold, tin, diamonds, platinum, titanium, or gems. So these type of deposits are mined by placer mining methods. So the placer mining methods are of two types. One is called hydraulic mining by using the water force. Hydraulic means water, generally used for weakly cemented near surface ore deposits. Hydraulic mining of a placer gold deposit. Hydraulicking utilizes a high pressure stream of water that is redirected against the mineral deposit, normally, but not always a pressure, undercutting it and causing its removal by the erosive action of water. There is another method of placer mining is there, which is called dredging or dredge mining, generally used most often for mineral sands and some near shore alluvial diamond mining operations. So dredging is performed from floating vessels, accomplishes the extraction of minerals mechanically or hydraulically. Dredging is a method often used to bring up underwater mineral deposits. Although dredging is usually employed to clear or enlarge waterways for boats, it can also recover significant amounts of the mineral deposits. So here you see this figure shows hydraulic mining of a placer gold deposit. So the, these are the gold deposits found. So here you are using the water monitor. High pressure water monitor is used to loosen the material. Okay, uh, and these are the rifle boxes. So when the water will carry the heavy minerals, so the heavy minerals will be arrested by the rifle box. Rifle box uses mercury for gold recovery. Mercury is used for gold recovery. So that the mineral is separated from the gangue particles. So this is the placer deposit. This is the placer deposit. You are breaking the placer deposit by the help of water force. This is the nozzle of the water uh, directed to the deposit to break the mineral deposits. So this is the nozzle of the water force. This is the machine used for directing the water force to the mineral deposit. So you got my point. There is no drilling, no blasting. The water energy compressed high pressure water energy is used to loosen the rock materials. So by the help of a monitor, water monitor. Okay. So this hydraulic mining, another method is means this hydraulic mining, or it is also called here hydraulicking or hydraulic mining. So this is the hydraulic mining. Hydraulic mining involves directing a high pressure stream of water. This is the stream of water via a monitor, a nozzle against the base of the placer bank. Against the base of the placer bank. The water waves the water caves the bank. The water, the function of the water is to cave the bank of the deposit, disintegrates the ground, and washes the material to and through sluice boxes by the help of sluice boxes or jigs or tables situated down the slope so that the heavy minerals can be collected from these sluice boxes. So hydraulic mining totally disturbs large areas. This is the large area you are going to disturb by the help of hydraulic mining and puts much debris into the drainage system. So after the gold is taken out, a lot of debris, waste material is thrown to the drainage system, thrown to the water course. Presently, hydraulicking is used primarily in third world countries. It is closely controlled or prohibited in the United States of America. So this is the dredge mining. Let us see what is the dredge mining. So this is the dredge machine. This is the dredge machine. So this is the ship in which the dredge machine is floating, and this is the bed of the deposit cut by this bucket. So uh, after cutting the material, this is the deposit. This is the deposit. This is the dredge machine. So it rotates, cuts the material, takes to this place and dumps here or collects the material here. So this is the dredge machine. This is the dredge machine, floating machine. So dredging is a method often used to bring up underwater mineral deposits. Although dredging is usually employed to clear or enlarge waterways for boats, it can also recover significant amounts of underwater minerals relatively efficiently and cheaply. So this method is called dredge mining, dredging. So this is dredging uh, is done for large alluvial deposits. Dredging is done for large alluvial deposits which are mined by floating washing plants. These are the floating washing plants capable of excavating the gravel, processing it, in the washing plant and stacking the tailings away from the dredge pond. A dredge floats in the water and digs the gravel by an endless string of pockets. Endless string of pockets. Coarse material is screened out and dumped out the back. The fine material passes into a series of sluices where the gold is recovered. Several types of excavation methods are there in use. Like you can use the drag line. You can also use the backhoe plant also for the extraction of undersea or underwater deposits. So drag line, this is the drag line. This is the bucket of the drag line. Drag line used in placer mining with washing plants is limited to shallow digging depths. If the digging depth is less, then this drag line can be used. Its bucket is less controllable on the bottom than the backhoe, and it is less able to dig into the bottom to clean up all the wood that may be there. However, it has the advantage of a longer reach. Reach of the drag line is very long. The digging reach of the backhoe extends to as much as 70 feet below the surface. Therefore, it has the advantage of relatively low fast cost, excellent mobility, and an ability to excavate hard material. In the case of backhoes, it can reach up to 70 feet below the surface, and it is a low cost machine. Its mobility is very good. Therefore, it can also excavate hard material. So you can also use dragline machine and backhoe machine for the extraction of the pressure deposits, underwater deposits. So there are various types of excavation methods used in dredging. Bucket wheel dredging, bucket wheel hydraulic dredges are there, bucket line dredges are there, suction cutter dredges are three types of dredge machines are there. Bucket wheel hydraulic dredges are becoming more popular for underwater extraction, excavation, except where a high content of soft clay exists or where excessive oversized material occurs. It is dependent upon flooded pump openings that convey the material mined to the washing plant, and therefore it cannot work above water level. Placement of the pump suction is critical in the case of bucket wheel hydraulic dredges. Then there is another type of dredge machine is there. Bucket line dredges are capable of continuous excavation and are very efficient. They mine, process, and discard tailings to waste in one continuous stream of operations. However, no storage opportunities exist, and the stream moves through the system by the force of gravity. Buckets supported by a ladder dig the mine face. Material moved up the ladder and dumps into a hopper that feeds the washing plant. They are capable of high excavation rates. The third type of dredge machine is suction cutter dredges, which are similar to the bucket wheel dredge, except the digging device consists of a series of cutting arms rotating in a basket about a suction intake. The rotating arms break up the bank material, slurring it so it can be drawn into the dredge suction. It has proven to be successful in mining and consolidated beach sands and offshore placers, offshore mining. So the cost of, if you see the placer mining costs, capital cost of bucket line trace and operating cost. Bucket capacity, if it is 10 cubic feet, cost will be 9 US million dollar. If it is a bucket capacity is 15 cubic feet, the cost will be 16 million US dollar. If the bucket capacity is 20 cubic feet, the cost of the machine would be 23 US million dollar. And if the bucket capacity is 30 cubic feet, then cost of the machine will be 50 million US dollar. And operating cost will be in tin mining, it is 0.60 cubic dollar per cubic yard. 0.60 dollar per cubic yard for tin mining. Malaysian tin, Peruvian tin, it is 0.67. Gold 1.20 dollar per cubic yard mining. Steel and titanium 0.32 dollar per cubic yard. So this is the cost of mining. So because large placer deposits can be thoroughly explored before porting a dredge, such operations can lend themselves to thorough planning, and it is possible to carry out reclamation as mining progresses at only a slight increase in operating costs. So this is the cost of mining. Then that is, we have discussed till now about the placer mining, and by using the dredge machines, by using the hydraulic mining, by using the drag lines, by using the backhoes. So in the case of your placer mining, various placer mining methods we have discussed now are hydraulic mining. In the case of hydraulic mining, water force is used to dislodge the materials from the deposit. So water force, a high water pressure through the help of a nozzle is directed to the bank of the deposit to dislodge the materials. So there is no drilling and blasting carried out in hydraulic mining. The water force through the help of a nozzle which travels at a very high speed can break the rock. So therefore, it is called hydraulic mining, water force mining, aqueous mining. Then you can also use the dredge machine. We have seen different type of dredge machines are there. So the function of the dredge machine is to float in a ship and cut the material, cut the minerals which are lying in the water body. At the bottom of the water, the deposit is there. So a ship will float, and in the ship there will be a dredge machine which will collect the materials from the deposit. Dredging, hydraulic dredging machines. Different type of dredge machines are there. We have discussed suction dredge, bucket line dredge. Okay, so different type of dredge machines are used for dredging operation. Besides the dredge machines, the drag lines can be also used. The backhoes can also be used because the drag line is having a very big reach. Reach of the drag line is very large, so that the minerals can be taken out from the bottom of the deposit. The machine will stand. The machine will stand on a platform, and the material will be cut by the bucket, and it will be carried out. Because the reach of the drag line is very high. Similarly, the reach of the backhoe is also very high, which can be used for placer deposits. So I have discussed about what is a placer deposit. Placer deposits are nothing but the deposits which are found under the water. And these deposits, they are usually carried away by the river bed, by the river water, river current, Usually, the minerals which are originally situated in the Himalayan region, they are carried out by water force, they are carried out by the riverbeds, and they are getting deposited on the riverbed or bank of the river. Some of the minerals which can be carried away further, they can reach to the sea floor. They can reach to the sea floor because ultimately the river is flowing to the sea, mixing with the sea. So those type of deposits are called your placer deposits. So the placer mining methods are different than your open cast mining method. In the case of open cast mining method, you are using different type of heavy earth moving machineries, dry mining. That is called a dry mining. But the placer deposits are carried out by wet mining, which is called aqueous mining. Aqueous mining. Okay, so we have till now discussed about the placer mining. Let us go to the solution mining. What is solution mining? We have, I have told you different type of solutions. Liquids are used for the extraction of certain type of minerals. So what is the basic concept of solution mining? The theory and practice of leaching are well developed because for many years leaching has been used to separate metals from their ores and to extract sugar from sugar beets. Environmental engineers have become concerned with leaching more recently because of the multitude of dumps and landfills that contain hazardous and toxic wastes. Sometimes the natural breakdown of a toxic chemical results in another chemical that is even more toxic. Rain that passes through these materials enters groundwater, lakes, streams, wells, ponds, and the like. So this is the basic concept of solution mining. Although many toxic materials have low solubility in water, the concentrations that are deemed hazardous are also very low. Furthermore, many toxic compounds are accumulated by living cells and can be more concentrated inside than outside a cell. This is why long-term exposure is a serious problem. Encountering a low concentration of a toxic material a few times may not be dangerous, but having it in your drinking water day after day and year after year, it can be deadly. So the main theory of leaching. So leaching, what is in situ leaching method? What is in situ leaching method? So the main theory of leaching. Uh, so what is leaching? Do you know? So for example, there is a waste dump is there. In open cast mines, there is a waste dump where all the waste material is dumped. That is called a waste dump. So during rainy season, what will happen? Water will fall in the dump, and the water will carry away some materials from the dump. So uh, some type of minerals which may react with water and uh, they will be converted to a some other type of material. For example, if it is a sulfide mineral, if it is a sulfide mineral, if it is a sulfide mineral, when water will fall on the dump where sulfide is present, sulfide plus water H2O, so it will be converted to H2SO4, hydrochloric acid, uh, uh, sulfuric acid, H2SO4. What is H2SO4? It is a combination of sulfur and hydrogen. So where from it has come? Sulfur minerals are there, sulfide minerals are there. When rain is there in a rainy season, when rainwater falls on the sulfide minerals, what will happen? Sulfuric acid will be generated, is not it? So this is called leaching. This is called your leaching. So from the sulfide When water is coming in contact with it, sulfuric acid is generated. So it is called also the acid mine drainage. You must have heard about acid mine drainage. In coal mining, in the waste dump area, if the coal contains sulfide minerals, so in rainy season, what will happen? Water will come in contact with sulfide minerals, sulfuric acid will be generated, and this sulfuric acid will flow in the water course, and the water will be polluted and it will become acidic in nature. So that is called your acid mine drainage. That is called your the phenomena. It is called acid mine drainage. Okay, so that is called your leaching. So the main theory of leaching neglects mechanisms for holding the material on the solid, although absorption and ion exchange can bind material tightly to solids. Will simplify the analysis and consider only dissolving a solution, dissolving a soluble constituent away from an insoluble solid. An example is removing salt from sand by extraction with water. So you have heard about the salt mining. Salt, how the salt is mined uh, by the help of water force. Okay, so uh, that is also called a leaching, in situ leaching method. Salt from the river water, from the sea water, uh, we get the salt. So what is done? The sea water is confined uh, in a pond, and you can add some chemical or water with the sand and salt. Salt is not salt is found along with sand. So uh, you have to extract this salt. So for that purpose, you have to wash with water, and that water will contain the salty water. And by the help of some chemicals or by the help of sun's heat, water will be evaporated and you will get the salt. So this is nothing but a leaching method, in situ leaching method. So the counter current stage wise processes are frequently used in industrial leaching because they can deliver the highest possible concentration in the extraction and can minimize the amount of solvent needed. So for to get this salt, you need a solvent. Solvent is water, in this case water. In the case of gold, you have to use another solvent to separate the gold from the rock. So cyanide and other type of chemicals are used to separate gold from the rock. The solvent phase becomes concentrated as it contacts in a stage-wise fashion the increasing solute rich solid. The raffinate becomes less concentrated in soluble material as it moves toward the fresh solvent stage. So this is the basic concept of your solution mining in situ leaching. So let us discuss about the solution mining and in situ leaching. So solution mining or in situ recovery is equal to resources in a deep deposit are dissolved in a liquid and siphoned out. Solution mining is nothing but the mining method, recovery method from the resources in a deep deposit are dissolved in a liquid and siphoned out. Like, what are the materials which can be mined by solution mining? Salts, lithium, boron, bromine, potash, copper, uranium. These are the different type of minerals which can be mined by in situ leaching. What are the minerals mined by in situ leaching or solution mining? Salts, lithium, boron, bromine, potash, copper, uranium. So this solution mining is less environmentally degradable than other methods of mining. In the case of a solution mining in situ leaching method, there is less environmental degradation compared to placer mining. Placer mining is more environmentally hazardous than the in situ leaching method. Here, the environment is less damaged, less environmental impact than any other method. This leaching method is environmentally safe method of mining. Less surface area is also disturbed in the case of a in situ leaching mining. Acids, heavy metals, uranium can accidentally leak, which is a danger for the environment. Because you are using the acids, sulfuric acid or hydrochloric HCl or any type of acids you are using for the extraction of the minerals. If these acids are leaked, then it will be a problem for the water surface. Heavy metals also can leak to the water body and the water will be unsuitable for consumption. Uranium can also get leaked and it can also affect the environment in the form of uranium nuclides. Okay, so these are the environmental impact of your in situ leaching method. So this how this in situ leaching solution mining is carried out. In situ leaching is used most commonly on evaporite. For example, salt mining, potash mining, evaporation. You know, the sun's ray will evaporate the water and salt will remain, potash will remain. Evaporite and sediment hosted uranium deposits and also to a far lesser extent to recover copper from low-grade oxidized ore. So the dissolving solution is pumped into the ore body from a series of injection wells and then pumped out together with salts dissolved from the ore body from a series of extraction wells. So these are the different type of metals. Metals like gold, silver, copper, uranium, common salt, potash, trona, boron, magnesium, sulfur, lithium. These are the metals or by the help of in situ leaching or solution. Metals and minerals like gold, silver, copper, uranium, common salt, potash, trona, boron, magnesium, sulfur, lithium commonly is mined by solution mining method by using solution mining method. So what solution you are using? What dissolution agent you are using for mining gold? Sodium cyanide is used for mining gold. 35 approximate primary production is 35%. So you are using sodium cyanide for extraction of gold. You are using sodium cyanide for extraction of silver. You are using sulfuric acid H2SO4, ammonium carbonate, alkali, NH42CO3 for extraction of copper. You are using sulfuric acid and ammonium carbonate for the extraction of uranium. You are using water for the common salt. You are using water for the potash. You are using water for the trona. You are using hydrochloric acid for boron extraction. You are using seawater, lake brine processing for magnesium mining. You are using hot water melting for sulfur mining. You are using lake brine processing for lithium mining. So these are the dissolution agents used for different type of metal extraction. So dissolving agent specified in each case from starting from sodium cyanide to lake brine processing. So these are the most commonly used dissolution agents: sodium cyanide, sulfuric acid, ammonium carbonate, These are the dissolution agents used for extraction of these metals and minerals. Okay, so this is called your in situ solution mining, in situ leaching. So how the in situ leaching is carried out? Solution mining is carried out. You just see this. You have to dig a hole. You have to dig a hole. Okay. So in situ leaching or solution mining method. This is the method of mining, solution mining method, in situ leaching mining method. So this is the surface, and this is the cavity. This is the salt bed. This is the deposit. This is the mineral deposit or salt bed. Okay, this is the rock and this is the shell. Okay, this is the rock. Below the rock, your salt is there, or the mineral deposit is there. ISL salt mine. So what happens? You dig a well. This is the hot water. You are sending hot water through this well, and brine is taken out through this outlet. Through this hole, hot water is going to this area, mining the salt, and after mining, the salt water is shocked through this annular space, and brine is coming out to the surface. Through one tube, hot water is going, through another tube, brine is coming out. So this is called your salt in situ leaching mining. So here also sulfur mine. This is a salt mine. This is sulfur mine. In the case of sulfur mine, this is the sulfur formation deposit. This is the hot water melts sulfur. Hot water will melt the sulfur. Then you will form a molten sulfur. This is the molten sulfur. So uh, here in the case of sulfur mining, compressed air will be sent through the inner ring, through the inner tube, compressed air to activate the uh, sulfur deposit. And hot water will be thrown through this outer annular space. Hot water will go inside, compressed air will go inside. So air, hot water, they will agitate the sulfur deposit, and molten sulfur will be formed. And this molten sulfur will be carried out through this pipe, which is sulfur, water, and air, which contains sulfur, water, and air. Because you are sending air, you are sending hot water. So the air and hot water, when they are reacting with the sulfur, molten sulfur is formed. This molten sulfur is taken to the surface. Recovery is done, which contains sulfur, water, and air. Okay. So this is called your in situ leaching method, solution mining method. So this solution mining includes both borehole mining, such as the methods used to extract sodium chloride or sulfur, and leaching either through drill holes or in dumps or heaps on the surface. So this in situ leaching, solution mining, the advantages. The advantages of in situ leaching is no solids wastes are there, liquid wastes, very low concentration brines with no market value can be injected into the stratum being leached. Also, reported wastes are sometimes injected into a separate aquifer. Problems associated with in situ leaching, little control of the solution underground, and difficulty in ensuring the process solutions do not migrate away from the immediate area of leaching. Main impact of evaporating is derived from surface or shallow groundwater contamination in the vicinity of evaporation ponds. Pregnant solutions can be highly corrosive and phytotoxic and can react with the soil materials used in pond construction and may migrate to surrounding areas to seepage, overflow, both bad practice and wind-blown prey. Surface subsidence can occur and development of sinkholes may also occur after prolonged solution mining. if inadequate unmined material is left to support the burden. So there are some examples are there. So evaporite deposits. This is the evaporite deposit has been used for many decades to extract soluble evaporites like salt mining, such as halite, sodium chloride, trona, narcolite, epsomite, carnallite, borax from buried evaporite deposits in United Kingdom, Russia, Germany, Turkey, Thailand, and USA. A low salinity fluid, either heated or not, is injected underground directly into the evaporite layer. The pregnant solutions brines are withdrawn from recovery boreholes and are pumped into evaporation ponds to allow the salts to crystallize out as the water evaporates. So this is the method of salt extraction. Old underground mines consisting typically of room and pillar workings are often further mined using solution to recover what remains of the deposit. The pillars can be extracted by this method of in situ leaching. So there is a heap leaching method is also there. This is a heap of material. This is a heap of material. So what is done? Heap leaching is also used in recovering metals from their ores. Bacterial leaching is also there. First used to oxidize sulfide minerals. Cyanide solution is then used to leach the metals from the mineral heap. So heap leaching is a countercurrent process where the solid is in a stationary heap and the solvent percolates through the solid. An example is a dump or landfill. This leaching is essentially countercurrent. In industrial leaching, solvent and solid are mixed, allowed to approach equilibrium, and the two phases are separated. Liquid and solids move countercurrently with the adjacent stages. The solvent phase, called the extract, becomes more concentrated as it contacts in stage-wise station. The increasingly solution reaches solid. The raffinate becomes less concentrated in soluble material as it moves toward the phase solvent phase. Okay, so uranium heap leaching method is also there. Another example occurs in tetravalent and hexavalent form. Uranium is found in tetravalent or hexavalent form. Tetravalent uranium requires oxidation during leaching. Leaching in acid or carbonate medium, depending on Kang acid consumption. Lower recoveries in carbonate medium. Addition of suitable oxidizing agent such as H2O2, MnO2, sodium chlorate, or regeneration of iron or by bacterial oxidation. So bacterial leaching offers advantages of reduced oxidizing agent cost and generation of acid from sulfide minerals such as pyrite, as well as liberation of mineral from sulfide host. So readily leachable minerals are acid leached at a pH value of 1.5 to 2 and at a temperature of 35 to 60 degrees centigrade, which are suitable conditions for bioleaching. These are the different type of uranium minerals leached. Leachable oxides, uranite, and leachable silicates, refractory complex oxides, hydrated oxides, silicates, vanadites, phosphates, carbonates, arsenate, hydrocarbons. So these are the uranium deposits. Uranium minerals are soluble in acidic or alkaline solution. The production fluid consisting of what soluble uranyl oxynion is subject to further processing on surface to precipitate the concentrated mineral product, yellow cake you get. So this is a method of mining for uranium mining by using in situ leaching method. Okay, then heap leach operation, installing a plastic membrane liner. Heap leaching. This is a heap leaching method. Layout. This is the heap leaching method carried out. Installing a plastic membrane liner. So the layout of copper bioheap pilot plant. This is the layout of a copper bioheap pilot plant. Okay, auxiliary pond. This is the auxiliary pond. This is the rifle pond. This is the heaps. This is the crushing agglomeration plant. So, drum agglomeration, humidification layer with drainage pipes. This is the layout of copper bioheap pilot plant. So this is the drum agglomeration and humidification. Advantages of this heap leaching. The advantage is low capital and operating cost, absence of milling step, may require crossing and agglomeration, simplicity of atmospheric leach processes can be used to treat low-grade ores, waste and small deposits, absence of liquid-solid separation, step allows counter-current operation, metal tenor may be built up by recycling solution over heaps. Disadvantages of this method, lower recoveries, long leach cycles, lengthy experimental program, large footprint, acid mine drainage problem is there. So this last method is undersea mining, ocean mining. So this method of mining I will take up in some other class also. We extract minerals from seawater. Minerals are traced from the ocean floor. Sulfur, phosphate, calcium carbonate, cement, silica, silica, copper, zinc, silver, gold, manganese nodules, small ball-shaped ores scattered across the ocean floor. Mining them is currently uneconomical. Manganese nodules, Pacific Ocean, ore nodules crystallized from hot solutions arising from volcanic activity contain manganese, iron, copper, and nickel. So hydrothermal vents may have gold, silver, zinc. These are the nodules. Minerals are found in seawater but occur in too low of a concentration. Continental shelf can be mined. Deep ocean are extremely expensive to extract. So this is the future mining. The minerals which are found in the deep sea uh, can be mined when all the surface deposits are extracted. So this is all about today's class. Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.